Hello YouTube, it's been a while. To all those who have been here, a part of my sub count, which I don't know how large my sub count is, but to my viewership count, which has been pretty steadily in doubles. Thank you very much for being here and for, I guess, looking over what I have to offer to this YouTube platform. To myself, it means many things, and frankly, I kind of enjoy just talking. It's sort of my thing. So, I apologize for the screaming. Alright, so, Jesus, God, the family, and there's one more thing that I wanted to list on here. Oh yeah. Well, I think that's it for what I'm going to introduce as the title of this. I'll figure it out when I go back to it. However, I would like to talk about these things because I've seen The Family, at least in its entirety, twice now. And it's a Netflix limited series, and it's actually really good. And definitely, if you have Netflix, I would recommend giving it a watch because it gives more insight as to the driving ideals behind our more influential members of our society, such as senators, governors, kings, queens, because that hierarchy had to go somewhere other than just disappear without a trace. And so The Family from Netflix, the limited series, it actually documents the way our government here in the US actually decided that these key people are chosen by God, by Jesus, and they will go out and become missionaries. And by them going out and being missionaries, they plan on creating a understanding of wealth, one that they will be able to control, or they'll be able to have this influence over the world where they can usher in this age. And this age means these people wish to control how it is that their wealth and how their power influences the entire world over, not just the people out here. Instead of doing a certain kind of job, their job is to go over, shake as many hands as possible in different nations, different countries, different cities, what have you, and basically ignore the fact that the biggest part about Jesus' work in the Bible was that Jesus was doing for the poor, doing for the weak, doing for those who have essentially nothing, those who became lepers, those who had sickness in them that needed healing. He sat down with them. He did the prayer groups, not for wealthy, not just for wealthy. He did it for the people who needed it most, which are the sick, the people who are deprived of certain rights and luxuries, because water wasn't really a luxury back then, and so was food. Food, it would be produced, and again, everything had a currency, which still, to me, I still struggle with as a spiritual person. However, due to the way that they wanted to do these things, or the way that they deemed themselves followers of Jesus and the idea of Christianity and being chosen, those who are in a position to change the world, those with wealth, position, power, what have you, they're chosen by God, because no matter what you do, you cannot dethrone them, because they will continue to have power. This is a huge problem, and anybody who watches the series can realize how this is a huge problem. These are individuals who believe themselves to be righteous. These are people who believe themselves to be the direct lineage, the direct, not necessarily lineage, because I'm not really descendant, but they are descendants of wealth and power. They are capable of taking others under their wing and tutelage, or being able to support this ideal, this creation of theirs. And so long as they're able to create this and everybody can accept this, it becomes a norm. And I cannot stress enough how that could be a problem. Okay. 1. There is such thing as Christ energy. There is energy everywhere. Everybody is made of energy. There are things physically in the body that can only be measured when you're alive, because these are pockets of energy that circulate throughout your body. These are known as meridians. And these meridians, do correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, just be like, this is actually what meridians mean, but basically, you have within you an energy cycle that is only present when you are alive. That means within you is the spirit, the energy, the very thing that all things are comprised of. Your consciousness has been known by near-death experiences. You could look at any number of them. Their ability to see, their ability to remember, their ability to understand the things that are happening around them when they are clinically dead has been thoroughly documented time and time again. So consciousness resides within the body, and it is energy. Everybody is energy. No one person, no handful of people are just chosen. Everyone is chosen to play a very specific role at times. Sometimes you're the adversary or you're the hero. You're doing something in somebody else's life or your own life that changes the way your role is perceived. And that in and of itself is completely up to you. Free will is less about, there's not a set goal for you. There is a set goal for you. It's where you're going. These people have taken the understanding of what it means to be wealthy and to have influence to the point where you now, or they now, embody the new kingship. They are the new masters of their country or their kingdom, what have you, however they see it. And they are the chosen ones. They are the ones doing God's work. God's work is within everything that is alive. Even things that are inanimate have God's will. This pillow has God's will. And it's mainly just because it exists. It exists, therefore it holds energy, it holds presence, it holds understanding. Some more than others, and that's just how it is. Water is known to be intelligent. This here is intelligence. Praying to what have you, you could do anything, and you can make something out of it. However, due to them gaining things and different favors and actually getting these either murderers, thieves, or what have you into their community of praying and believing in Jesus and all of this stuff, when they raise the name that has nothing to do with actually being someone seeking betterment. These are people who are using this name because one way or another it has been known. This name, it's only that. It's a name that has been taken in vain more than once. And religion has always proven to be a very dangerous thing. The family proves that they're willing to stick government with religion. And these things do not mesh, because when you try to get them to mesh, that means you're going to sacrifice something that is for your people that you're governing under your government. They will suffer because you believe this is the way that your religion should be important to everyone within your governing nation, whether you're king or queen. And that can be a problem because of the very fact that it's volatile. All because somebody says or does something that has absolutely nothing to do with loving someone. Mind you, it is about love, it is about compassion, it is about doing everything you can to be in the presence of someone so entirely that you're willing to put your all into bettering another person. That somebody who is so low that they are considered the outcast of society. They are no longer deemed important. They are not within the very guise of somebody that can be reasoned with, understood, or even worthy of your time. Were the lepers. These were the whores. These were the people. These were the people. These two people that in the text, however they wanted to word it, the family only cares about a strong Jesus, one that looks at people and goes, you know what? It's not about poor people. It's not even about people who are homeless. It doesn't even matter if they're sick and dying in bed. I don't care about them. Not necessarily. Those people are just people we'll deal with after we're done getting all of this resource, all of this power under our control. And then and only then will we decide to turn, to show them what we have to offer, so that they come to us. They want to bend you into their version of what it means, their interpretation of everything. That's why they're called the family, because they believe these are the family roots that will go everywhere, starting in churches and different Christian groups and all these other things that will be finding leaders, people who are capable of speaking their mind, but not speaking their mind. These are people, these are the meek, these are the people who will take orders, because without orders, nothing is done. Absolutely nothing. This group of people want everyone to understand that they're the ones with all the goods, with all the things. They display things are chaotic. The Democrats and the Republicans will never agree on anything. They already agree that this is nothing but a game to them. They agree that they're going to go on stage, because yes, broadcasting and whatever is a stage, because the family in their documentation shows. If you watch it, it will tell you specifically when you're watching. One of the documents speaks about them getting into media, getting into these different areas of influence, sports, athletes, everywhere. They want to spread like the plague. This has happened already. This has happened before, countless times. Anyone can look through history and see what happens when somebody deems something demonic or even satanic. People lose their minds. They'll go out of their way to destroy things. Granted, these are just the people who lead countries. They don't mean anything. They're just figureheads. They mean absolutely nothing. In my day-to-day life, I can go use the bathroom, I can take a shower, I can go to sleep, and they mean nothing to me. I don't need to know their names. I don't even need to know when their birthday is. They don't matter, because the things that they care about is solely self-interest. And they call themselves the family. They don't care about anybody else except for their family. If they run over somebody's cat, if they hit somebody's dog, if they trip and land on a small child and crush them, that doesn't mean anything to them. We don't mean anything to them in the long run. It's people that need to come together. It's the people who actually have well-meaning within them. They don't give a shit about wealth. And yes, this is after 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the video, so that means I can cuss. They don't give a single rat hair on their butt about people out here who have to deal with jobs disappearing, part-time, full-time, minimum wage going up and screwing everything else over because inflation. All this mundane stuff that you can't even file you can't even give a resume without doing it online, and even then you're being categorized by what you put in this resume online, that it already filters whoever the heck they want, because that's the specific person that they want. Experience, what have you, that's who they're looking for. They're not looking for everybody. They're not looking for anybody. Out here, things have changed a lot. Yes, internet has given us the ability to actually talk and actually have a communication with each other, and the ability to actually communicate long distance our ideas, our thoughts, our feelings, things that we can actually agree on, or things that we can actually build on. These are all things that we ourselves should be looking forward to. And when I dealt with Christianity and the entire idea behind Christianity, it just filled me with paranoia and fear, a resentment of others because I knew the truth. I was a chosen one. I am the chosen one. Frankly, to break it to everybody, if you watch this video and you don't believe you're chosen because you're here, you're breathing, and you're alive. That means you're chosen. You're chosen to experience this life right here. It doesn't matter how the life has turned out thus far. Only circumstances that are unchangeable are the ones that you believe are immutable. Completely immutable. There's nothing in the world that this circumstance will not change. You can change anything in a day. You can decide to go out and talk to a neighbor, or decide to get on a bike and go to work. If it's close enough, or even if it's far, you could choose these things. And you can choose to, support somebody that you believe in. You could support the people that will actually want to make change. Like, for me, personally, I have no idea what I would want to do if I was mad wealthy and had all this money and all this clout. I wouldn't know what to do with it all. And they're the same. They're human. The only thing that they're going off of is the belief that they are chosen, or the belief that Jesus put them into power because they believe in Jesus, but nothing else. Jesus comes first, and everything else after. However, it's not the Jesus that says, oh, if you see a poor person on the street, you usher them inside, you give them a bowl to eat, and you talk to them, and you have an actually human experience with them, and you develop something so that you understand how to actually change the world. No. This is, if you see somebody else who's doing evil things, you go across, you cross the border, you get on a plane through somebody else or through your organization, and you talk to this murderer, this person who wants to kill you, and bring up the name Jesus, and then, money and guns and all the things that they want, you'll give them, and then they'll give you in return. So, everything's fine, everything's good. Jesus works. But that's not it. That's never been it. These are people who are willing to wage war for the simple betterment of themselves, their position, and all the things they can get out of that position. Doesn't that sound like it's happened before? People who in a position of power misuse it because, frankly, they believe that they're in the right and they're doing no wrong, because they believe they have this position and they, by every right, have the choice and the ability to make any choice they want. They can manipulate any life they so choose, so long as none of the repercussions come back. That's why they'll mistranslate or even think of people who are doing some horrid things in the Bible are the good guys. They'll twist it so that they're the good guys. Oh yeah, the lady that I fell in love with, or I grew lustful for just for seeing her, and she's my general's lieutenant, or she's my first lieutenant general, whatever, and she's hot, and I can't handle it, so I'm gonna send him away so I can get at his lady. That's an abuse of power. That has nothing to do with, oh well, Jesus is testing you, God is testing you. Well, obviously he failed, because he got with her, and then he sent the general, lieutenant, what have you, off into the battle so to make sure that he died at the front lines. But guess what? His kingdom wasn't taken away from him. Nobody knew about it. He still kept his kingdom. Nobody took anything from him. He got what he wanted. He got to keep what he wanted. And there were no repercussions. Therefore, he's right. That's dangerous. If you can get away with something, doesn't mean you're right. You could kill somebody, throw them into a trash bag, throw them into a sewer grate. Nobody finds them for like years, and you believe you're all right because you didn't get caught. I can understand where that mentality comes from, and all it is a power trip. It just escalates from there, because then you'll start doing more and more things, and you'll get more and more careless. But that's why they have the many different industry infiltration as well. So they can continue to exploit the idea of Christianity. They can exploit it till the cows come home, and nobody will stop them, because this is their country, this is their way of handling, and Jesus is behind them 100%. So how do you rein in people like that? How do you even understand Christianity to the point where you can realize that it's nothing but fear-mongering? If somebody says this being will punish you or smite you or choose that you yourself are a negligible figure and you don't deserve to have peace after everything you've done on earth, it's obviously some sort of control right there, because now you're panicked. Now you're trying to understand what it is that you're doing wrong in your day-to-day life, that you're not doing right, that you have to fix, so that you can actually live your life differently, so that you can be accepted into a place that you have no proof actually exists. That's right. You have no proof this place actually exists. Near-death experiences talk about tunnel of light. Tunnel of light is so common that I'm pretty sure you could find it anywhere. That hardly means that that is where heaven is. Because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, it's just dysphoria when you wake up after being dead. Maybe you just made it up in your imagination. No, because my brain is shut off after near death. And also, the tunnel of light always sounds like somebody's trying to sell you something, so that's a big giveaway that that's probably not a good thing. So I had my stint in Christianity. It was fear-based. You could tell it from the onset. Somebody's always watching over you, and you're a sinner no matter what. Because that's the Christianity that is taught. It's not this individual. I'm going to call him Yahshua, because that's his actual name. Because please, God, people need to learn his actual name. Its actual name. Knowing a name is power. Not knowing a name gives power to things that you do not want to give power to. So, Yahshua, I like to talk to him a lot. I usually tend to speak to him because he's actually pretty cool. He usually comes off as very calm, very, very soft, very, very interesting fellow. And I'm not going to even say he anymore, because it is just an energy now. It is there as a reminder that there are certain ways that you can handle yourself and you can do better in when it comes to direction or how you're handling your situation. It's more like you get that, it's like a mentor type energy. Like, it will sit with you, it will, help you mold the clay how you actually wanted it. If you want to craft a ball but it keeps coming out like a little lumpy here, a little lumpy there, it will actually help you and guide you to show you exactly how to mold it perfectly. So it's a ball. And through this, I've asked it many times what it, many different questions, and through the understanding of religion and all that, their teacher Kelly Coffee, Kelly in the Raw here on YouTube, she actually got a message a long time ago from that energy, and it told her that eventually the churches will be judged, because the churches have always been in it for themselves. That's why marriage between religion and government does not work, because they're trying to make people coincide and be guided by God. And there a lot of problems arise, because they don't use Yahshua's example. They don't use Jesus' example. Christianity is literally followers of Christ. they follow absolutely nothing that Christ sets forth, which is you do unto others as you want done unto you. Therefore, you want to help somebody who's in need, because maybe you'll be in need one day. Then you help those people. You do things for the good of yourself and for your reality, the things you want to change. If you want to change something, you go out there and you change something. You change the way you handle your situation. You do something that is different from how you would normally handle things. Maybe you'll walk past that beggar, or maybe you'll just ask that beggar. Maybe you'll sit down with that beggar. Maybe you'll do something different. Maybe you'll give that hitchhiker a ride, or maybe you'll, hitchhike with that person. The only fear we have is the fear that we always hear either reported, or we either experience, or we have secondhand. But fear is the thing that is the biggest motivator for not doing anything. Because we believe we can mess things up, or that we're going to screw up, or that we're going to ruin everything by doing this one thing. So, Yahshua always believes in the idea that you're doing just exactly as you wish to do, only in the vein and the understanding of how you wish to go about things. So, in other words, if we always use the word intention, but if your direct actions are those that you're taking for the betterment of not only yourself, but the reality around you, or the things around you, or the people that are around you, you're doing something actively to aid them to do something, to give them a hand in when they really need it, that help, then you're doing God's work. You're doing your work. Because no matter what organization rises up, no matter what the hell they're doing, if they rise up and they want to do all these things, if they want to do all these great things, you can always see them exchanging money. You can always see them exchanging hands between other organizations. YoPlay gives to cancer centers, but these cancer centers, they give to Johnson & Johnson, and it just goes on and on. You want to do something, you rally your own organization, you rally your own people that are willing to actually do something. Because even if you live in a town for a very short period of time, you can tell who's going to be there and who's not going to be there. You can tell who's going to be willing to show up and those who are not going to be willing to show up. So, yeah, I had to get all this off my chest anyway because I watched The Family twice. And frankly, it's absurd that these individuals just continue to build influence and then power and all this other things when that's their objective, that's their goal, and they can do that. Eventually, may the actual wheels of the actual work begin to turn. That's my prayer, because prayer is just a tool. You can use it. Having 2 or 3 friends who actually believe in what they're praying for, yes, can change the world. And there's always an opportunity for something. And always an opportunity for growth or change. And yeah, keep in mind that when the higher ups or the mucky-mucks or these people who are well known, they're well known for a reason. They're either entertaining you to misguide, or they're working on something that they want to disguise. And that's the worst part about how things are working right now in that collective sphere. Granted, right now, golden age. Right now we can do anything. You can set your goals high and you'll most likely meet them, so long as you are willing to do exactly everything it takes to let go of the things that hold you back. The only one who can hold anyone back is you. Which, pointing at that camera, I'm pointing at myself. So, yeah, that's right. I'm holding myself back. Though I already know that. I have many things that I'm looking at and making sure are out of the way. However, I guess I'll be back. This is my longest video after a while, so feels good. More videos soon, hopefully. Much love, blessings, prayers always for those who are willing to do the work that most people would either frown upon or believe is satanic. You're doing your work, and there's never anything that could be taken away from you when you're genuine in your pursuit of what you want to do. So, yes. Take care. May you find your calling.